Celtics lose this one to the Raptors, 125-119, losing it at the end of this game. But the starters at the beginning of this matchup came out very strong. Eddie, what was your biggest takeaway from this second preseason game?
Is that their offensive efficiency, them sharing the basketball, the way they're playing with each other and for each other. They're turning down good shots to get great shots. Their spacing has been impeccable. They're able to get downhill when they want to get downhill. And again, as I said earlier in the pregame, is that when you have great spacing like that, the right play is clear cut. The decision is you can make that decision easily because it's clear cut in your face because you have so much spacing and guys reap the benefits of it. And I think the Jaylen Brown coming out and setting the tone early, and he just picked up where he left off last year. He is a killer in the first quarter, and I think it's a great way to start all the games because a lot of teams like to kind of slowly get involved in the game while he's coming out downhill and he's striking first.
And you mentioned Jaylen Brown, 19 points at the half, finished the game with 23 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist. Why is it so important for Jaylen Brown to have that killer instinct before we even start the regular season?
Well, I think it sets the tone. I think it sets the tone from the beginning of the game, and then not only to the opponent, but it sets the tone for his team as well to say, hey, let's be aggressive. Let's not play on our heels. Let's make sure that we put these guys on their heels and make sure that they have to play us and get into our rhythm. And I think it's just the spacing. If you look at all these plays, look at how much room Jaylen has to operate. And then look at right there, just one extra pass. You have so much space that you got them in scramble mode, and you're getting easy looks at the basket. And I think if they continue to build on that, and the one thing I do like what they did in this game, they took care of the basketball extremely well. They had 5 turnovers in the first half. They ended up only having 5 turnovers for the whole game, and some of those turnovers didn't even happen. Weren't any of those guys' fault. Jaylen only had 1. Jaylen Brown had 0 turnovers, and Jason Tatum had 1 turnover. So the guys that have the ball, that makes the most plays, that always have the ball in their hands to create for themselves and others, really took care of it.
And Eddie, just how contagious is that spark that Jaylen Brown has throughout the game? So that way, it's not like guys are starting out slow to start these matchups, that they understand, hey, we got a lot of fire under our behinds and really get into this matchup. How contagious is that attitude from Jaylen Brown from a player's perspective?
Well, when it's your leader, right? When it's one of your team leaders that's coming out there that's setting the tone, you can't do anything but follow suit. And I mean, I think before the game, you've seen those two were in the interview that they had, and they were talking about how he wanted Jason Tatum to be more vocal, and they wanted to be more leaders, and now also showing, not just talking about it, but also going out there and proving it and showing and leading by example. And I think that's one thing that I think Jaylen does. He doesn't have to take his time. He comes right in and gets involved in the game. You look up and you have a comfortable lead in that first quarter, or you guys are just feeling good as a team. And defensively, I can't say enough about how they've been playing defensively. They have been contesting a lot of shots. It's been tough sledding for both of these teams. The Hornets and the Raptors didn't have too many open looks. A lot of contested shots, a lot of guys trying to force things. He had some layups here and there, but not a lot of missed assignments defensively either.
And let's bring in Scal, who's live inside of TD Garden right now. And Scal, just the second preseason game for this Celtics team. What was your biggest takeaway after watching them in this matchup?
So today, going into this game, I was thinking, Toronto Raptors, big, strong, physical team. Across the board, they're long. They like to hit the offensive glass. I don't think it was an issue. And I think offensively, Toronto was just searching. I agree with what Eddie House was just saying. There is no weaknesses right now in the Celtic defense. It is really hard to bend that defense. Everybody can guard. They switch out. They build out. They leave you on an island. And sometimes that used to be a bad thing. But no, this is a good thing for the Celtics. They trust that everybody on this team can guard. And then offensively, it's just a matter of time. With all these great decision makers, all these great playmakers getting downhill, moving that basketball, they're going to be tough to beat during the regular season. And I thought rebounding was going to be an issue today. I'm not sure rebounding or the size or anything was an issue until, probably the fourth quarter when Toronto walked down that lead at the end of the game.
And Scal, you talked about this during the game, how the Celtics are able to create offense through multiple different players, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Malcolm Brogdon. Why is that going to be important this season?
Yeah, anytime you have multiple guys that can break down the defense and you can get teams in rotation, then you have opportunities to get some easy baskets. Think about it. If Malcolm Brogdon breaks down the defense and Jason Tatum gets a wide open shot, can you imagine what that can do? Tatum making 1, 2, 3 wide open looks. Same thing with Jaylen Brown, getting a couple easy baskets in transition. Everything in the NBA doesn't have to be hard for those guys, even though we know they're more than capable of doing that. I throw Marcus Smart in that category too. He had a few times where he got downhill and made some plays. So that's hard to guard. That's what is difficult. Guys who can make quick decisions, people who could space the floor, and then not just our defensive versatility, our offensive versatility is off the charts right now. So it is. I'm sure the NBA is watching, and they're going to be a tough matchup, even through the regular season, even with guys like Rob Williams out, or maybe if Al Horford's playing limited minutes. They just have enough versatility to sort of navigate themselves through the regular season.
Jason Tatum with a double-double tonight, 18 points and 10 rebounds. Eddie, how is Jason Tatum able to impact this game?
I think he's just letting the game come to him. And then when he wants to force things, he does force it, and he's playing with force, and he's getting downhill. The one thing that I like about him, and I was begging for him to do more of that in the finals last year, was just be aggressive. And when I say aggressive, that doesn't mean you necessarily have to take the shot, but put pressure on the defense. Don't settle for the jump shot. Don't settle for that side step 3 or the step back 3 when you could beat your man off the dribble. You got a bag, you got a package out there. Show your skill set and get downhill, and eventually you'll have some wide open threes where those threes are easy. They're not contested or off the dribble threes. We all know that the percentage goes down with those. You'll have some wide open threes, and those will go down. But I love when he's getting downhill and he's in attack mode.
Scal, how much more aggressive did Jason Tatum look out there tonight?
This was a different game. I think in the Charlotte game, everywhere he went, he saw 2, so he kind of had to move the ball. Or if he wanted to shoot it, it was kind of a force. Toronto was really like pulling out and trying to take away the Celtics' three-point shooting, especially in that first quarter. And so Tatum is going to get, more opportunities to get to the rim with no one there. So I think his aggressive mindset was needed. If teams aren't going to help, it's disrespectful to Jason Tatum. If you're not going to help off Jaylen Brown, it's disrespectful, because that means that you're just letting me go one-on-one, and those guys are going to cook. So this was the game where those guys had to do that. Other games will be different. Teams will, we bring up the NBA Finals, like the Golden State Warriors made a conscious effort to take away Jason Tatum. We're not letting you get anything, so other guys got to eat off of that. Tonight was a night where he had a one-on-one matchup, and they just would not come over to help on him. So obviously him and Jaylen Brown in those situations are going to be out there cooking.
Yeah, definitely going to be out there cooking. All right, thanks so much, Scal, for that insight right there. Let's send it out to Abby Chin, who's with interim Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla right now.
Joe, not the outcome you wanted, but how important is it for you going through these experiences in those late game situations?
Yeah, I thought it was great for our team. I just told them, don't let the end result cloud all the good stuff that we did throughout that game. We did a lot of great things, and I thought Toronto did a good job making tough shots down the stretch, and I thought we missed some easy ones. So you just can't let the result get in the way of what we're trying to accomplish.
The top 7 did build up a pretty big lead. What did you see from that group?
Just everything we've been talking about. I think our defensive identity is intact. I thought we did a great job. And then I thought on the offensive end, we're really working together to get the best shot possible on every possession. And the guys are enjoying playing together.
Sam Hauser feels like every time he gets the ball above the rim, fans around their stands, it feels like it's going in before it goes in. How much confidence is this giving him? And then what does he add to this group?
Yeah, I think Sam's a really hard worker, and I think he naturally has confidence, and so he does a great job just playing off of other people and making the right play when necessary. And, I definitely think he has a role for us. I thought that was the great thing about tonight was we saw 5 guys really competing who can help us, and so Sam falls into that category.
Finally, feel good to win your first Green Light Special?
What's that?
The challenge.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, it felt good.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
A look at that final score from inside of TD Garden, 125-119. Not the result that the Celtics were looking for, but still some positives to discuss.